Thanks, Garrett. Let's bring in the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for joining Fox and Friends this morning. Can you explain to us, because there's a flight check, you do an inspection of the plane before you take off, how the engine was able to detach on one side if they had just did the inspection?
No, it's a good question, Lawrence. So that's why, again, we look at the videos, and there's a lot of theories out there. We don't speculate. We're going to wait to look at all of the data and give the American people a report on actually what did happen. But what we do know, Lawrence, I want to be clear on this, is that this was not an air traffic controller issue, right? I want to be clear on that. This appeared to be more mechanical, but we do have the flight and data recorders. Those are in the process of being analyzed right now. They'll tell us a lot about what was happening on that aircraft. And then we'll also look at videos as well and draw conclusions and make modifications if necessary to make sure these kind of aircraft are safe to fly. And are there any remedial efforts that we have to engage in to make sure, again, what we learned from this crash is implemented across airplanes of like model.
Mr. Secretary, when I fly into my local airport in South Carolina, I'll see UPS planes that are separate from where we land. Yeah. And so I'm wondering, how did a child get injured in this? Obviously, a child's not on the UPS plane, I wouldn't think. Did it run into that building? Explain what the pictures show.
That's right. Well, you're right. There was 3 crew members on the airplane, but again, when you take off, we don't have miles of separation. We have buildings, facilities, sometimes houses right near airports. And so when these crashes happen right at landing or at takeoff, again, there's some significant consequences that can happen where those planes hit. This is that exact story. We have, again, a young child who was probably in the vicinity on the ground, maybe with their parent. We don't know yet. And again, a significant loss of life, which is why, listen, we take it seriously. And again, I get there's speculation. Everyone wants as much information as possible. We do try to push back on that because we do want to get accurate information out there from the NTSB, who leads the investigation. The FAA team is on the ground as well. We partner up, but they lead the investigation. And as those facts become available and clear, we give them to all of you.
All right, so we know about the FAA will now start flight cuts at 4% beginning tomorrow, followed by an increase of 1% each day until it hits 10% next week. So 10% of flights at 40 U.S. airports, around 4,000 in all, as U.S. government shutdown drags on. Just horrific. It's not your fault. It doesn't reflect on you. What went into that calculus, though? Is that to keep? Does that mean we can count on the flights that aren't canceled when we get to the airport?
So, Brian, we always assess risk in the airspace, right? As you've seen, and I think you and I have talked about, controllers are making decisions about their families and their income, and some of them are not coming to work. It's a problem. I want them to come to work and do their jobs, but that's the reality that I deal with. And so you've seen a lot of delays and cancellations through the airspace. It changes every single day based on what controllers are coming to work and which ones are not and what airspaces. But we were seeing increased pressure in these 40 markets, and we looked at the data. This was data-driven, and so taking 10% of the flights out will reduce that pressure, which is what we want to do. Now, does that mean there's going to be no delays? No, Brian. There's potentially still going to be delays if we have staffing triggers, and we don't have enough controllers in an airspace where we did cut 10%. You might see additional delays. However, you've covered Newark, right? We had massive delays at Newark early in the summer. And we reduced the capacity at Newark, and then all the flights flew on time, right? There was no more delays. I can't guarantee that's the case here, but I'm hopeful that we're going to have more on-time flights, less cancellations. But the main mission I have, Brian, is my mission number 1 is to keep people safe. That's one. Number 2 is gridlock with the traveling public. That's a secondary issue. Delays are a secondary issue. Safety is primary. And so this is not politics for us. Again, politics are around what's happening, but this was not a political decision. This was a data-driven decision to make the right calls, to get ahead of any issues that could happen, in the airspace that could have negative consequences. So we moved. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the holiday season is approaching, and people have already started to book their prep. That's how you get the best discount. Should they start to cancel their holiday plans and drive or take the train? I mean, what are people supposed to do?
So it's hard to predict, Lawrence. I can't see a crystal ball into the future because, again, if this shutdown continues. But by the way, let's talk about the controllers, which will answer your question. They missed a partial payment in early October. They missed a full payment a week and a half ago. This morning, they're getting their pay stubs that they're going to get another big fat zero, no paycheck for the second time. They've all told me it's really hard to navigate a full month of no pay, missing 2 pay periods. So I think you're going to have more significant disruptions in the airspace. And as we come into Thanksgiving, if we're still in the shutdown posture, it's going to be rough out there, really rough. And we'll mitigate the safety side, but will you fly on time? Will your flight actually go? That is yet to be seen, but there'll be more disruption. So yeah, would I still book? If there's deals out there, I'd book my flight. I'm flying my kids home from school, Lawrence. I booked those flights last night. Of course, I'm going to book them. But again, we're going to have to all work together as the American people to navigate this really not great situation that I think Democrats in the Senate are putting on the American people with the shutdown.
Yeah, speaking of the shutdown, will you continue to have these reductions if they pass the CR bill? If they open the government?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ainsley. So it's going to take us some time to staff back up. It will be data driven, but no doubt we'll see light at the end of the tunnel, right? We're going to start to reduce that 10%, maybe to 5, maybe to 4, until we can get back to normal travel. But the data will determine how we do it, when we do it. And even the NATCA, the National Air Traffic Controllers Union, has said it'll take time to get everyone back in the towers. So as they come back online, we'll reopen the airspace. But again, we're about safety. We're about making sure people's flights go from point A to point B and people get on them and off them safely. And we're just, as Americans, going to deal with the gridlock. I hope that the whole Congress looks at this and says, let's find a pathway forward together. I've been in these, but we've never had a shutdown that's lasted this long. So we're in uncharted territory. And by the way, our controllers have done a great job showing up compared to other shutdowns. So they're doing their work. But it's just they're going to go into the second pay period without a paycheck. And it's the longest ever, Brian. And again, there's consequences for it. And people have asked me, why don't you find money for air traffic controllers? Like, that's the purpose of a shutdown. I don't have access to money. I can't find dollars to pay them because the Congress said there is no money. And so we can't break the law. And so I can't pay them. I'd love to, but I can't. And so the message is sit down, figure this out, open the government up, and let's not hold Americans hostage, especially when they want to travel. That's not the way to do this. Let's get this resolved.
Mr. Secretary, I hope to see you later tonight. Thanks so much. I know you hate to miss a Patriot Awards. I hope we'll be able to get him here.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.